Hi everyone, my name is Zhang and this is my channel, and this video is going to be about what was my experience like getting fired from Deloitte. And we're going to talk a little bit about the whole process, what kind of package I received, and how did I feel during the entire process. Hopefully you can find this video helpful if you are ever getting fired by Deloitte, or if you're just wondering what it would be like if you were to get fired today. And if you like the video, please comment, like, subscribe, and we'll push up more awesome content regarding personal finance, regarding stock investings, options trading, and angel investings, or just general startup product stuff. Thank you. So here's a little background of how I got started at Deloitte. After graduating college, I took a job as a cybersecurity or cyber risk consultant out of their Dallas office. And it's a full-time offer. They gave me a sign-on bonus, plus salary, plus benefits, all the good stuff. Overall, it was a really decent package. I think it was $70,000 plus a $10,000 sign-on bonus. So it's about $80,000 your first year out of college. Not too shabby for a business grad, right? I'm not a computer science graduate. I'm not looking into move to Silicon Valley and work as computer science. Working as a programmer for the FANG companies, making $150K starting, plus stocks and things like that. But it was a decent package for me, so I took the deal, and I started in September of 2019, as a full-time employee out of their Dallas office. Now, fast forward a couple months. We're hitting the March of 2020, and I was supposed to go out that Sunday onto the client site in New Jersey, and that's gonna be my new project until July of 2020. So it's gonna be like a 4 months project for a client out of New Jersey. And if you don't know, as a first year consultant at Deloitte, or first year analyst at Deloitte, your whole performance metrics basically revolving around the billable hours, or they call it the utility rate. So if you want to get a good performance review, you need to actually be on projects and create a lot of billable hours, so you're actually making the company money. And that project's supposed to take me from March till July. That will take me into the first year of performance review, and I'll be hitting maybe like 95% or even 90% to 95% utility rate, which is decent for a first year. And but that Sunday, the CEO of the company sent out a mass email to everyone saying, "Don't fly anywhere, don't travel anymore. Deloitte, as of today, is banning or eliminating all business travels until further notice, all employees to work remote for their projects." To me, I felt better, because I was a little worried going into New Jersey and New York area during March of 2020. And if you remember a little bit about March of 2020, it was in the New York area, we got COVID cases rising, and every day there are new thousands and tens of thousands of people getting tested positive. And I was a little worried about, okay, how can I feel safe if I travel to those areas without vaccine, and people not really putting on masks and things like that. So the last thing I was really thinking about was like, oh, my utility or my performance. But how do I stay safe? So I was glad I didn't have to travel to New Jersey. But the downside is that I couldn't get onboarded to the new client. If I were to get onboarded to the new client, I would get my virtual machine access, and then I can get an actual ID badge, go through a whole process of onboarding, and meet the team, so I can help them perform help to perform whatever the project needed me to do. I think it was an internal audit project, and I was kind of doing like what a financial analyst would have done instead of what a cyber risk consultant would have done. But this is what happens when your first year, you try to get utilized, and you try to generate billable hours so you can get good performance, so you can get staff on better projects. But that's for another video, to talk about the day-to-day of a Deloitte consultant. For the purpose of this story, you just have to know that I was supposed to be staff on a project towards the end of March of 2020, and I couldn't make it because the travel was banned and couldn't fly, and therefore for a couple months I couldn't get on any projects, and my utilization rate keep on dropping. So now fast forward a couple months, now we're hitting the June of 2020. So for the past 3 months or so, I've been trying to get on projects. I've been trying to hit every senior I know, every senior consultant that I know, any managers or partners or MDs or whoever's in my contact, not in my contact, whoever's posting for a project. I'm trying to hit them up and say, hey, do you need help on anything? At the time, all businesses were or tightening their budget. They're thinking, oh, there's a pandemic, a recession is here, we should spend less, and new projects couldn't get started. Old projects are stopped. Old projects are halted somehow, and so everybody's just on the fringe, and they couldn't really make an investment decision. So staffing was very difficult, and you have a lot of people within Deloitte trying to get on projects. So you're competing with like senior consultants, second year consultants, and third year consultants, and I'm a first year, very junior level consultant. So it's very, very difficult to get on any projects. We did have the chance I did have the chance to help out on some small projects that lasted a day or two. They were planned to last at least 2 weeks or so, but they only lasted a day or two. So that didn't really help didn't help my utility rate. And I try to get on some internal projects that are not billable just to prove that I'm working. I'm trying to contribute to the company, and I did some work for a manager who is pushing out new services. I help create the PowerPoint deck, help to do research, help to fill out the content of the PowerPoint deck, and things like that. But at the end of the day, internal projects are not really that useful in terms of determining your performance for your first year. They're like something good to have, like extracurricular, but your utility rate is like your GPA, the grades that you have. So you actually need to have decent GPA. That's what I'm trying to say. So I had terrible utility rate going into June, and then the story gets the story gets interesting from here. So on Monday morning, I received an email from my friend who started at Deloitte around the same time as I did. He was working at Deloitte Consulting, which is kind of different from Deloitte Advisory. And I was working at Deloitte Advisory because that's where the cyber risk practice is aligned. And he sent out an email saying that, thank you everybody. For the past few months, I learned so much, and then today will be my last day at the firm. I was so surprised because he started at the company around the same time as I did, and he's a good performer. He works really hard, and that really took me by surprise. I didn't think there would be layoff in Deloitte, and especially for first year, because usually you don't fire or you don't let your first year go. But that was the case. So I reached out to him immediately and asked what's going on. And then he just said he received an email, and then he was told that he received an email Sunday night, and he was told there to have a meeting Monday morning. And then he was told that his last day will be Tuesday. So after hearing that, I was a little surprised, and I wished him best of luck. And then I went on my day. Then around I think 1 o'clock on Monday that same day, I received an invite from a unknown PPMD. The unknown PPMD is what we call at Deloitte partner, principals, or managing director. They're like the boss of everybody, but they're even higher levels than the boss, right? But for the purpose of this, it's just think of them as the boss of you. And they were not the boss of me per se, because they were not in my practice line. It was an unknown PPMD saying like a conversation with this PPMD's name, and that's the title of the invite. And it was set on, I think, on Tuesday afternoon around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, so a day later or so. And I was a little confused. I was like, what is this? Is it a raise or a promotion? You can't be fired, right? And so, but you had to accept, right? And because it's a meeting from PPMD, even though you don't know the person, even though I didn't know the person, I click accept. And but after asking around a little bit and reading online a little bit, I kind of knew what that meeting is about. It looks like I'm gonna be laid off. So I reach out to my friends. Well, I didn't reach out to anybody at the time because they're trying to processing and just don't want to really overreact of anything like that. But I did reach out to the friend who was laid off that day and ask him what his process is like. And then he told me his experience. It seems like it's the exact same thing I'm going through. So for the rest of the day, I couldn't really get much done, and I just keep on thinking about, oh, okay, what's going on then? And then that whole same mindset really led to the meeting itself. So I got to the meeting. It's a Zoom meeting. It's either a Zoom meeting or a Skype meeting. I can't really remember. And there was a person, a female PPMD that I did not know, and another HR representative also there with me. And once we started, and immediately the PPMD started reading from the script saying that, thank you for being here. We regret to inform you, we had to, as of today, due to the COVID-19 situation, blah, 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 business reason, we had to lay you off. And if you have any questions, HR here is going to help you walk through the entire process and let you understand your blah, blah, blah rights or everything or something like that. I couldn't really remember exactly because it's like a year or so ago, but I just remember that she was reading from the script and then the HR guy is gonna handle the rest. So the PPMD was there for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just to read from the script to tell me that I've been laid off. And well, to my surprise, I wasn't really shocked or anything because I was kind of mentally prepared, knowing that this is probably that meeting, and I started talking with the HR about what the next steps would be, and the entire process. Well, I was quite calm. I didn't feel like I was overreacting or anything. I've seen like people getting fired on in like movies or TV shows where they just started raging and things like that, and it's super funny how that whole process was. And I was kind of looking at myself from a third person perspective, thinking, oh, this guy's getting fired. But we're going to talk a little bit about the detail of the package. Well, we can't really talk about the details of the package. We can just go over generally what the package is and how I felt about the compensation that I received for being let go. So here's the general overview of the severance package that I received. So effective on that Wednesday, it will be my last day at Deloitte. So I was informed the meeting was Tuesday, so on Wednesday, a day later, that will be my last day at Deloitte. So I were to complete all projects at hand and give the proper project lead the notice that I was being let go from the company, and any work will be transferred to them immediately. And my access to the whole Deloitte network will be terminated on Wednesday as well. So if there are any personal files or personal files that I need to create a folder on desktop and put it in there so the Deloitte IT department can email them to me before they wipe the entire computer clean. And they will send me a UPS box or a FedEx box so I can mail back the computer to them along with my ID badge. So in terms of compensation, here's by the way, here's a picture. So for my personal files, I basically transfer my W-2s and my proof of employment during the time period, any sort of tax documents or any sort of driver's license, and here's a picture of my ID badge while I was working at Deloitte. Yes, I was more presentable back then. Now I look like a caveman, like my mom so dearly puts it. And in terms of the severance package, monetary compensations, I would say it was a pretty generous package, at least for my level. Um, I was told that even though my last day would be a Wednesday in June, they will still pay my salary for a month. So that's extra month of salary that I'm getting for doing nothing, and they will also pay out any incurred PTO that I did not use. So as a first year, I had a lot of PTO and I didn't take any vacation because usually first years don't take vacations. So that's actually a decent chunk. So it's paid out at my hourly rate. I think my hourly rate was like $34 or something. So it was a decent amount. And then another one is the actual severance compensation amount. I don't think I can say the exact amount, but it's a couple $1,000s ish. Just think of it that range. And so overall, it was a very generous package, and I was able to leverage that money to really pay my expenses and move to a new city, and and then save the rest in the bank, so I don't have to worry about food or forwarding, rent, or anything like that. Um, I get to keep the Deloitte phone that I have, that I have while working. So that was a really pleasant surprise. Overall, I would say the Deloitte severance package was quite generous, at least for my level. But I think it's the same package for everybody else, like for managers and for for like senior managers. Sometimes I don't know about MDs or partners, or I don't know how their layoff process go, but I've heard that during that layoff, a lot of them were actually let go as well. So it was very unfortunate for a lot of people working with Deloitte, but I'm sure they landed on their feet. Deloitte has a good brand name, and it really helped to have Deloitte's name on the resume. It would probably be a piece of cake for them to find a job with no problem. But for me, as a first year who just had barely a year, less than a year of experience, it was kind of hard. And I was setting my standard quite high as well. I didn't want to work for another consulting company like PwC or EY because I just feel like Deloitte was probably the best of them, and I experienced what Deloitte was like. Maybe if I want to do anything, I would probably want to go somewhere like Fang and try to do something that I'm interested in, because I didn't really enjoy my experience as a cyber risk consultant. It's a lot of PowerPoint making, not really hands-on work, not really creating things. So, but that's for another video. For this video, I'm just going to walk you through the entire process, and what the severance package was like, and if you were to ever get laid off, and maybe you can leverage this video and it can just help you guide you through that process a little bit. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and I know getting laid off from a company or from Deloitte specifically can be daunting and scary, and it just feels strange. And it definitely felt strange to me. It was the first time of me being laid off from a company, and it happened so quickly out of school. Like, just felt like yesterday I was at school finishing my courses, and today I was being told by my company that I work for that I'm being laid off. It just felt quite strange and a little surreal. But I felt more relief than actually feared of my future, because I didn't quite enjoy the work I was doing, and it just really gave me a way to really pursue my goals a lot earlier. My goal had always been to work at Deloitte for 2 years or so, get the senior consultant title, then jump to a startup or jump to start my own startup. Because I'm always interested in a fast-moving environment where you're building and creating things, and that's exactly what I did after Deloitte for a period of time. I became an entrepreneur. I started building a podcasting startup. We call it like the TikTok for podcasts, which is okay. I will share that experience in another video. and just all the successes and the failures that I went through as a startup founder, and my recommendations that perhaps can help future entrepreneurs a little bit. And I want to thank you for watching these videos. Hopefully you've learned something, and you can, if you're getting laid off at this moment, or maybe that's why you're watching this video, I can assure you, you will land on your feet. It will all be all right, and don't worry too much, because Deloitte, at the end of the day, even though it sounded shiny, if you were just a college grad, at the end of the day, it's just a company, and there are other companies out there that need businesses done, that need business done by you, and you will find a job, and hopefully a job that you enjoy, with people that you enjoy working with, and with the money that you deserve getting. And I wish you best of luck. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk more about personal finance stuff, talk more about financial independence, retire early, talk about stock investing, option trading. I'll talk about the market, all things that I'm interested in, and stay tuned for more content. Thank you.